Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Canvas Crafts. My name is Kim, and if this is your first time clicking on a video and checking it out, welcome, welcome, welcome. You've come in for a cool one, I think. This is my J wall. This is my Josephine Wall, and it's called Alternative Reality. Josephine Wall is one of the artists in the community that, well, she's an artist, but she's known in the diamond painting community for her very detailed, gorgeous paintings that come out extremely confetti heavy and pretty challenging. So there's a Josephine Wall event for 2025. If you're not aware, myself and my friend Debbie is co-hosting. I'm co-hosting. It's really her event, but I'm co-hosting this event with Debbie from over on the YouTube channel, The Crafty Diamond. I will link her below. I will also link our Facebook page. If you guys have a Josephine Wall in your stash, you probably know about this event. If you do not have one, it might be too late to get one at this point because, well, there's two companies that sell Josephine Wall. If you're not very well versed in her artwork and stuff. The one company is in Germany. It's called Diamond Painting Deutschland, and they do ship out fairly quickly if it's in stock. And you can probably get it in time. But if you live in the US, the shipping rate is like $70 flat ship rate. However, you can get as many, you can get, I think, up to 7 paintings. I think it's 70. It could be more now. This is a couple-year-old information, and I haven't looked into ordering from them since this. So it's extremely, my point being is that to order from Diamond Painting Deutschland, you have to be, you have to understand that you're going to pay a lot of money for shipping. Okay. And you will probably get it in time to do the event. From the one with the diamond art, it's almost the same cost, to be honest with you. Even though their shipping is more reasonable, their paintings are more money. And honestly, I feel like, I mean, this diamond painting was almost $200. So if you take 70, like Diamond Painting Deutschland's paintings are like 100. If you add 70 to it, it's almost $200. So and then with Diamond Painting Deutschland, you can add another one and be at 270. So it's all relative. It's expensive. Okay, Josephine Wall paintings are expensive. The only other way to get one is in a D-stash group. Their old Diamond Art Club Josephine Wall paintings are still being sold in D-stash groups, but they're always over $100 because they're few in between and kind of highly sought after. So anyway, point being is you might not be able to do the event this year, but Debbie hosts it every year. So if you're interested in grabbing and getting your hands on one of these Josephine Wall diamond paintings, because they are so gorgeous, you could probably hop on the event for next year. Okay. What do I have here? We have a ton of sponsors, guys. I mean, sponsors that I've never even bought from. I feel horrible about that. But sponsors I never even heard of. These are, Debbie is like a huge networker. She's like that person. I'm very shy and like in the corner, like, hi, I got a little channel over here. And Debbie's like very, very, very social. And so we're kind of like the opposite on that end. And so she got all these great, amazing sponsors. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm broke. Like, I am so broke. But they are all on my to buy list. I can't even name them all. So Debbie is like great at the networking. And then I took everything last night and I just like organized it all and broke it up into weekly prizes and this and that and the other thing. So, you know, we have our strengths, right? So, yeah, she's great at talking to the people and getting her name out there, and I'm horrible at that. So Debbie is amazing in that sense. I do have some of our sponsors stuff here that I'm going to be using. I did order, if you guys are interested, Ashley over at Crafts with Crashly on Etsy. She worked with Josephine Wall's agent and got permission to print up release papers for this event. That's huge, guys. It's huge. Like, that took a lot of work and a lot of back and forth. And thank you, Ashley. Like, I can't even imagine. So please, if you're interested, go grab some. You know, it's not going to be available forever. And, you know, it's an honor, right? So Josephine Wall is very aware of this event. She seems like such a doll. Again, I haven't talked to her because I'm just so like, and Debbie has. And so Debbie said she's just a lovely, lovely person. And I think that it really comes through in her artwork. You can see how lovely of a person she is. So, you know, they say your art speaks for you. Well, it certainly does for her. So, and that's how we've all fallen in love with her, right? So I don't have mine yet. I did order stuff from Crashly. So we're just going to have to section off our square today with this, but I will be using those release papers once I get them. And actually my diamond painting is in one of them. I was like shocked because she has so many paintings, guys. Like so many paintings, but you guys picked this one. So I'm really excited about it. It was like high on my list. I just love the dress in this. So excited to see how it works up. Another one of our sponsors is Joy's Putty. I actually no, I think Debbie did get her too. I've worked with Joy and talked with Joy, and she's just such a sweetheart. But I'm pretty sure that Debbie got her too. Anyway, this is white tea from Joy's Putty. I'll be using this in my multi-placer. Leopard Leather Works, Carrie and Tim, you guys have heard about them on my channel. This is the pen I'm going to be using because I do feel like it matches her dress, and it's just so sparkly and pretty. So we're going to be getting my pen ready together. This is not a sponsor. It's just a trash tray, but I think it's so cute. And then these are from DP Gal Creations, guys. These are the special event trays that she made. I have small, medium, and large here. Small, medium, and large. And I know that I'll probably only be using the smalls in this painting. However, I did want to get the other sizes. The mediums are my kind of go-to, and the large is always nice to have with a high a high color blocky painting. So like, obviously I got these for, you know, future use, and I just like to have a little reminder of the J Wall. So it's really cute. These are great trays, guys. If you haven't tried her, or if you've tried the trays in the past and didn't like the old trays, these are a whole new design. I think you're really going to enjoy them. Hold on, let me put my coffee down. Well, let me grab a sip. So she does have the edge here, which honestly didn't think I'd like, but love it. And then these pop in and out. We have a great large spout, so for very fast pouring, I love that too. You can always, you know, pop the lid on to pour if that's your jam. Okay, so we have those. So that's what we're going to be working with today. I have my timer. I did make my time sheet here. And I did this kind of behind the scenes, and then my event, my journal page. Okay, so we're all set here. I did that. I don't know when I did that, because I was going to do that together with you guys too, but that was done. I was like, oh, okay. Sometimes I am on top of it. So we have to get my pen ready. Then we have to get the canvas ready, and we'll pull the drills out. We're going to go over each box again, because I have not looked at them since I've done the kit up, like, at all. So I kind of want to have like just a loose reminder of what's what. And then we'll lay them out, and I'll show you how I do that and everything. And I think that's it. I think that's all the things. So I'm going to grab a metal single placer. And I think, honestly, like a 6 placer is going to be the biggest that we're really going to need on this. We could probably even get away with a 5 or 4 or something. But I'll just grab a 6. Because I don't know why, but the 5s always seem to give me a problem. And, okay, this is a little loose. That fits in good. Maybe I'll do a little bit of washi on that tip there. And I hate getting a new glue dot, but we're going to have to do that. Especially since we're going to mostly be single placing these. Now, when I do my diamond painting Deutschland, I solely single place on those. I don't know. I feel like I do see some more areas of color blocking in this than I have in my diamond painting Deutschlands in the past. So I feel like I'm going to be able to do some multi-placing, which is why we're going to go ahead and prep. Yeah, I do feel like that's enough. Okay. Let me see here. All right, so the first thing I need is my glue dot. You see that dot there? Let me pull it off. They're always too big. These are too big. So I'm gonna have to cut it down. Now, why did I put my scissors away? Maybe I'll just break it. So I broke a little piece off. It's time for my glasses, guys. I don't even think that I said what we're doing in this video. So this video, we're going to be, we are going to be doing a whip and chat. So we'll start my first square together. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it together. It would be cool if we do. Maybe I'll just make sure it's a small square. I always, okay, maybe I'm going to have to put more washi. Yeah, that was kind of small. Let's make a little bigger piece. Sometimes I do it like this. Sometimes I try to shove it in like this so it gets around it, and the sticky part is inside. Now that's not going anywhere. Okay, I think we're done all of that, and then we just have to load the Joy's putty in. I have white tea here, and I chose white tea because, I don't know, this gives me like England feels, so I feel like, you know, and they love tea, right? I feel like we're in England, but I could be wrong. This is kind of loose too. Now when I unboxed it, I actually slipped and they went in fine. I don't remember them being loose. This pen. So I just did an unboxing. It's still kind of loose. Oh, I did it the opposite way. I like the sticky to stick to the pen. All right, we'll see how that works. All right, so I think we're good in that respect as well. All right, so let me get you guys positioned better. Well, actually, let's put our washi on. So I always start at the top. Oh, am I moving you? This is so ginormous, guys. I'm going to start in this corner here, and it looks like there's a lot of color blocking, actually. could make it a pretty big piece. Or do you want me to start over here where it looks kind of a mess? I usually start this way, but let's see. Let's go ahead and put this washi down. So when I get the cover sheet, the release papers from Crafts with Crashly, my plan is to put the washi down and cut off the cover sheet and then lay them down for 2 rows. I think what I'll do is I'll make the row here. I always look for something in the picture that kind of stops and like looks like a good line. And for me, it was this line here, I don't know why. And then I just go all the way across. Starting to get like, I had to take my sweatshirt off. It's starting to get like, I guess like humid out. And the bugs are just insane. I feel like we're gonna have such a bad bug year, bug summer. And honestly, like when I was saying how much I was looking forward to it warming up a little bit, I wasn't even thinking about bugs. And now I'm like, maybe I do need to live somewhere cold. I hate bugs. I know we need them for the ecosystem and blah, 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 blah. But, oh my God, I just can't stand them. Why are they so not attractive? Why, you know, we draw them so cute. Why can't they look so cute? That light actually helped a lot. I was thinking, I don't need the light. That light helped a lot. Let me just check over my work back there. I did a good job. All right. What do you guys think? You want to start on a heavy confetti area? We can start over here. This looks kind of intense. I still see a lot of line blocking right here. Now, I know I said I'm going to do, this is going to be like my redemption video because of how insane my kit up was. But bear with me, guys, because like I said, I have not looked at these boxes since I put them together. So, you know, as you go on, you'll memorize your boxes. And I always put them in the same order, like I have a system. All right, so let me get you set up for the actual whip and chat part of it, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, so real quick, I grabbed my 6 boxes, and we're going to go ahead and put them in order. So box number 1 is going to be the numbers into the letters. Okay, so what I do is I flip them open. Box number 2 is going to be, this is how I do it, numbers, and then it goes into arrows, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and do squares and circles next because we'll stay into the shapes. Okay. And next we'll do lines and crosses. And then we'll do, okay, it looks like we have weather and people and creatures. So this is the first time that I've had 6 boxes. So this is kind of new for me. And then we'll have food, drink, and technology. food, drink, house, and technology. So I do sometimes have one floating on top that I just kind of move. Like I'll move it over here as I get to know them. Okay, so that's how I'm going to have them laid out. And I'm going to grab the 2 small trays, and I am going to leave the lids off because I tend to diamond paint without lids. The trays are great if you're going to put them in a tower system. I think is fantastic. So we have our pen, and I'm going to need my cutter. All right, guys, I think we're all set. So I'm going to zoom you in now to my square, and I will 100% need my light pad, so you're just going to have to bear with it. I was thinking maybe I could cover it with something, but I'll figure it out. Hold on. Okay, so I did put a towel down, but then I was like, oh, what if it gets somehow onto my sticky? So I was like, made me nervous. So I took it off. Don't worry. I don't think it's going to be too bad. And I'm going to zoom in more. I just want you to see how I work through these boxes here. Okay. So let's just, okay. So we have numbers, letters, arrows, squares, circles. Yeah, squares, triangles, circles, food and drink, house, and technology. And then we have lines. We have weather and creatures. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Now, we are going to do obviously another whip and chat with this diamond painting. And I think as I get more well-versed in my boxes, you'll see how much faster I can be. I have the windows open, but it's like really cloudy out. Is that better, guys? It's better for me, so we'll leave it like that because I feel like we're going to war. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut. I haven't done from this side in a very long time, but I wanted to give you guys a look at like what it's like to diamond paint a real Josephine Wall. You know, that other corner seemed a little too nicey. So the first one that I see is definitely in my lines box, and that's over here. So just push that aside, and it's right here. Actually, it ends here. So we're gonna go ahead and this one I'm gonna be able to multi-place. There's quite a few of them in this. So first I'm gonna just pick out any of the trash that I see. Okay. All right, let's start. Oh, let's start our timer. Woohoo! I believe I'm going to be giving it away in a prize in this whip and chat. So just stay tuned for that, guys. As well. And if you're not joining the Josephine Wall, the whip and chats aren't just for Josephine Wall event people, okay? So don't feel like you can't listen in. I hope everybody is having a good day. This is a little too far away from me. I need to be a little more on top of it. Let's see, and that glue dot is too sticky. hold on guys, I need to be, like normally I have my square down here because I need to be a little more on top of it. Hold on. Okay, so just with the way I'm recording right now, I'm going to be editing so that I zoom in more, but okay, that's much better because that was way too far away from me. But I will tell you, the squares are very nice. It's got a little foot. Yeah, I like these squares. Anyway, so I hope everybody's having a good day. And have you ever, if you're not doing the J wall, have you ever done a max color canvas, or is it on your bucket list? So as you can see, I'm multi-placing this. I like to do the edge so that it's all cohesive. I always like to do the edges. And then he's questionable. If you have any questionables, just get rid of them. You don't want it to push other ones around. They'll be bullies. Yeah, this one has this particular color. I'm still not as on top of my canvas as I normally would be on this, and the glue dot keeps lifting the canvas off of from underneath the clip. All right, we are J-walling it. Yeah, I was up last night. I really wanted to start this. I thought I was going to start this. And I was up for hours working on organizing the prize list and stuff. And just trying to make each week as fair as possible. That's, you know, I get that from my grandmom. Like, I remember when I was little, I swear to God, my grandmom would get the M&M packet, and she would get the M&Ms and she would break them up into colors, and then she would count how many there were, and she would give us each like the same amount of browns, the same amount of greens, the same amount of reds in our Easter baskets. And I remember asking her what she was doing. She was making our Easter basket. I don't know why she was making it in front of me, but she was, and I was very little, and she was counting, and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I want to make sure you guys get the same amount of each color. And I was like, really? Like, even as a kid, I was just like, why? We're just going to eat them. Like, nobody cares. And then because of that, I think, like, I did the same things, like, for my kids. Like, it was weird. I always remembered that because I thought, you know, that was like, I don't know, it kind of made me feel special that she wanted to make sure we were treated equally, you know. And which is funny because my grandmom was known to have like a special place in her heart for the boys, but she still tried to make things fair, obviously, you know. Like, she just worried about the boys all the time more, especially my dad. My dad was just such trouble that my dad was like a big troublemaker. And he was like always getting into trouble as a kid, and my grandmom just constantly worried about him. And like her other kids, like as adults, were always like, you were her favorite, you were her favorite. I don't know if he was her favorite, but I think she felt like he needed more TLC, so you know, it came off that way. Or maybe he was her favorite. You know, it was the same thing with my brother. Like, she felt like he needed more TLC. And so she gave him that. But then, you know, that example of how she didn't even want him to have one extra green M&M shows that she, you know, cared about us both. Oh, coffee is so good, guys. 2. See, that was pretty easy, right? I knew exactly where it was. All right. I mean, considering there's 200 colors, I honestly didn't have to look one iota. I just had to look over. And that's why I took so much time organizing these colors. It's now, the trick is just remembering what, okay, so I'm using my multi-placer, but I'm grabbing 2 at a time, and sometimes I'll even grab 3, and I'll just go 1, 2, 3, and 1, and then 2 and 3. This is another way to diamond paint quicker. So you're you know, to single place with your multi-placer is clutch. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. So I hardly ever pick up, I hardly ever like use my single placer. Because I diamond paint, I'll single place with my multi-placer so much. It's just very easy for me at this point, and I always try to pick up at least 3, and I'll pick them up in a row. They're like it's like I'm gonna drop 3 diamonds. Sometimes I'll pick up 4 if I see like there's 3 in a row. Like here, I'm picking up 5 because I see there's a 4 in a row, and I'll drop 1, and then I'll go and do the 4. If you're looking for ways to speed your diamond painting up, that's a great way to do it. So I have 4 here, and I'm going to drop 1, and then I'm going to place the 3 down here. And I have 3. So I'm dropping 1, and then I'm putting 2 down. And I have 3 again. I'm dropping 1, and I'm putting 2 down. So I have 3, and I'm just going to drop them all 1 at a time. Now, I have done up to 5, dropping them all 1 at a time, but it gets tricky. Like 1 got stuck there, so I'll just pick it up with my single placer. This glue dot is a pain in the tarse. Tarse means ass in a nice way. You tarse. Okay. There's a lot of twos. Guys, I've been so busy. I don't even know. I kind of like, I'm definitely very hormonal. TMI, I guess, but hey, it's life. It is what it is. You know, I'm definitely perimenopause. I'll be 50 this year. So for Bob's 50th, I threw this like huge party. I've talked about it so many times. His whole family flew out for it. He had no idea that it was happening. And I mean, I spent thousands of dollars on this party. I had a DJ, I had it catered with carved roast beef, and linens flew in from New York. I had like a 3-tiered cake decorated with the Raiders on it because that's his team. And I had the whole theme of the party was black and silver, and I had people bring instruments. So, and I had his drum set up, and they had a jam session. It was so much fun. And I think that's all the twos. I think. So we're going to go ahead and put this back. Now the next symbol that's really kind of jumping out at me is these yellow sticks, and there's 3 sticks. It's like the Roman 3 symbol, but it's going to be in my lines, and it's right here. Oh, it's the pixie dust. Oh, I wonder if all the pixie dust are yellow. So one of the things about Joy's putty is that it is safe for special drills. So we're going to continue with our multi-placer here, and we're going to dabble. Oh, this is so pretty. We're going to dabble all of my pixie dust all over. So anyway, what I was saying is that, you know, it's going to be my 50th, and I am not, like, I don't like to be the center of anything. So I told Bob I don't want to be the center of attention. I want to go away with the dog. And so my kids and a couple of my best friends and I are going to go away. And so I said, you know, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars on a party. I'd rather spend money on a vacation, because like we're going to Florida, but like we haven't had just like a family vacation. And when I say family, I just mean even just me and him in years. And so and the first vacation that we do go on, I want it to be with the Moogs, because I just really want to take her away and do a little travel with her. I think that'll be so much fun, you know. So, and I think she'd love it. So that's the plan. My daughter found, I have my best friend looking at houses. My daughter found a really, really cool one that is kind of in my budget. So this is going to be so pretty. I love these pixie dust drills. I'm going to move you up to there. Yeah, they're gorgeous. A lot of times when I'm looking at glitter drills, the glitter is gold. And these are silver, and I love that. These look like glitter drills. I wonder if they are. No, because they're listed PD, pixie dust. But they look more like, I mean, there's so much pixie dust on them. And also I think it helps that it's silver and not gold. I don't know why. So anyway, I was telling Bob, because we don't crate MUGI. Like, if someone's home, we expect them to, like, watch her. It's like she's like a toddler. It's like we treat her literally like she's our child. You know, we put her in daycare. Like, I'll be like to my daughter, are you working tonight? Because we're both working, so can you watch the dog? Like, you know, we try to, and she's maybe in the crate half an hour a week. And the problem is that I'm not, like, getting to the gym because a lot of times, you know, I'm waiting for him to wake up, and I'm running her, and I'm tired. And I think a lot of my chronic fatigue is due to the fact that I'm exhausted. And no, wait, that doesn't make sense. That is exactly why a lot of my, what I've diagnosed myself with as chronic fatigue is due to the fact that I'm just not getting the exercise that I'm used to. And it's really frustrating. So, like, I had her set up for daycare, but she did have, like, a bellyache, and Bob's like, so are you canceling? And I'm like, no. Like, I've been running around with her. It's raining out. I've been running around with her all week. I need to go to the gym. Like, I need to do some stuff, you know. And he was like, I don't think she should go. And he's like, I'll watch her. And I'm like, fine, then you cancel it and you watch her. I'm like, my whole, everything I do all day long is built around his sleep schedule and her play schedule. Like, whether I make a video, whether I go to the gym, whether, like, I clean. Like, I can't live like this, like, every day, all the time. And I said, she's gonna have to, I'm gonna have to start creating her sometimes. Like, people actually do things and have a dog. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't think that this is normal. You know, my friend is constantly going out and she has a dog. And so yeah, I went to the gym yesterday, and I had to do 2 body parts because I had only gone to the gym once all week. But I'm going to try to get there again today, even though I had to do this video. That's a lot's covered. So the next one that's popping out at me is the moon, and this is our weather, and it's right here. All right. We are making progress. Oh, I have a pixie dust drill on my, I need to put that back. It's right here. I don't want to, it's so pretty. I don't want to even lose one. It's raining out today. Sounds horrible out there. I'm starting to get a little chilly. So I did message, so my girlfriend is seeing this holistic doctor, not doctor, I'm sorry, nurse practitioner, who we both used to work with. And she's always been like a health nut, really into working out. She's, you know, she and I used to talk a lot. She's a cool cat. Anyway, so my girlfriend, she does this holistic nursing, and my girlfriend is seeing her because she has some GI issues and things like that. And, you know, she's doing a workup and like transforming her diet and things. And, and one of the things is she had her have a bunch of labs done. And she said that her iron and her vitamin D and her B vitamins were all really low. And she's like, that's probably why I'm so tired. And then she said that the nurse practitioner was like, yeah, it's crazy that, you know, your regular doctor doesn't check these things. Like in your yearly labs and stuff, they don't check these things. And I'm just like, you know, that's true. Like, I would like to know, you know how many people have told me that their vitamin D was low, or, you know, this was low. And I'm just like, how did they figure that out, you know? And so I've been so tired. And honestly, I've had like low hemoglobins in the past. Like even when I was pregnant with my son, they put me on iron pills. It was called Slow Fee, Fe for iron, and on the chemical symbol table. Anyway, and I've always had like a low or low normal hemoglobin. Like my one hemoglobin was in the 11s, and a normal hemoglobin is 12 to 15. So like I was considered, like it flagged as anemic, and it made me, when I went to schedule my colonoscopy, it made me actually go see the GI doctor before I could schedule it. Like flagged my account. Fine, no problem. But the thing is like, I feel like, okay, if you have a low hemoglobin, like, why don't you look into why that's happening, right? Like, nothing was ever, it was just like, oh, it was low, and now it's 12, so you're fine again. But why was it low? Like, and so I'm like, maybe I do have a low iron, because I know I've complained on here about how my skin's always cold. Like it's really weird. Like it's not normal how my skin is constantly cold. I don't know. It's like so bizarre. And I feel like maybe it's because my hemoglobin's low. I don't know. Can you have cold skin from a low iron? I just feel like, you know, why aren't we checking this stuff? So I sent a message, and they were like, her first available in-person visit isn't until October. So I scheduled that, and then I asked for all these labs. And they called me back, and they said that she wanted to see me in a telehealth visit first, which is fine. I was like, sure. In fact, you know, I would love that. So I'm going to have a telehealth. It's funny because it's April 9th. April 9th, I was supposed to have, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is this like person. So it's people and creatures, which is over here, and it's right here. Perfect. It's funny because April 9th, I was supposed to get my injections. And then my mom calls me and says that she's scheduled for a colonoscopy. And I was like, okay. You know, she's like, you're going to have to take me. I said, no problem. So I call and I try to reschedule. I was like really kind of hoping to get those injections because I'm going to be on a plane the next day. So I called and I was like, and they wanted to schedule me like the beginning of May. And I'm like, do you have anything earlier that week? And they said, nope. And I'm not surprised. So I was like, no, I just have to cancel it then. So I am taking my mom for a colonoscopy. And then my primary doctor's office calls and they're like, well, she wants to do a telehealth visit with you on April 9th. And I'm like, like, what is so popular about April 9th? I'm like, I can't. I have to take my mom to a colonoscopy. And they're like, well, what time? And I said, I don't know. They call you the night before and tell you what time to show up. I said, I have no idea. I don't want to like schedule something and then, you know, be driving or be at my mom's. I'd be at the surgery center. So she's like, oh, well, she's got availability like into the evening for telehealth. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, how late? And she's like 6 o'clock. And I was like, okay, well, then can I do, you know, I think she said 7. I was like, can I do 6 o'clock? And she's like, yeah. So I have that going and we'll see what she says. All right. So the next one is, I'm not sure where this is. It's like a moon and a dot. So it could be, oh, it is here. I was going to say it could be in weather. That's the next one that kind of jumped out at me. And no, not all the yellow symbols are, because this is a yellow symbol and it's not a pixie dust. And so far, I'm really, really liking these drills a lot. These are nothing like, because I've done one canvas from the one with the diamond art, and it was my second mystery canvas. And I didn't like the drills at all. Honestly, I think they were acrylic squares. I don't know. But it's because it was when they first opened, I bought that. And I wasn't crazy about it at all. And I was nervous because I hate acrylic squares. And I won't purchase anything that has them if the company's forthcoming. So yeah, this was like when they first opened. I bought some canvases from them. And but these are definitely really nice drills. So I will separate the drills on my, if they're going into like pockets, like all the drills around them are you can't pick the drills up right next to each other if they're going into a pocket. You have to separate them. So I'll actually slide one back and go like that. There's a lot more of this color than I even thought. I didn't realize they were all over here. But yeah, so I just wanted to give a real quick update on my stepdad. My stepdad is on home hospice now. A couple weeks ago, he went to go to chemo and they sent him to the hospital for like a very high blood sugar. and he came home on home hospice. So Bob did a lot of work that weekend helping my mom get the home ready for him, and because they sent home a hospital bed. Wait a minute. So yeah, no more chemo. And they put a drain in, like I asked. I asked for this like months ago. I asked his oncology doctor if they could put a drain in and he could have it drained at home. And they told me they only do that for the lung. Well, before they discharged him, they put the drain in. And now he has a nurse come out. So he was getting 6 liters done weekly. And now every other day they come out and they drain a liter. So I'm going to do number 6. So that's been a lot more convenient. And I think, honestly, he's been a lot more comfortable because he doesn't have to sit there and let all this fluid build up for a whole week before he gets drained again. And, yeah, it's been hard on everyone. So, like, I just wanted to update you guys. And then, oh my God, I think I think the hospice nurses think I'm like trying to steal his meds, guys. So freaking embarrassing. Oh my God. So he came home on a Monday, and like, I don't even drink, but all right. So this is what happened. This is freaking stupid. I'm like so mad at myself. Okay, triangle. I need a triangle. And I'm looking for this one. Oops, I almost dropped you. So, this is, all right. He came home on Monday, right? Now, you guys know I work all weekend, so I worked into Monday morning, okay? So I had like 4 hours of sleep, and I got up by 8, and I called my mom, and he was home, and she said, the hospice nurse is coming around 7. And so I took MUGI with my neighbor to run a little bit. And then when I was done with that, I went over to my mom's, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And she's taking forever. And so I said to my mom, I'm like hungry. And she said she loves that. She jumped up and she's like, oh, let me feed you. So she starts cooking meat. I'm like, of course the lady shows up like right when my mom's finishing cooking. So we all go sit down with her. And, you know, honestly, the only reason why I wanted to be there was in case my mom didn't understand something, you know. And I really wanted to make sure, like, he got his drain schedule, because, like, that would have... Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is this A. Because, you know, that could have been an issue if they, you know, didn't properly set that up, and, you know, his stomach blew up. So, and I just wanted to make sure that she knew how many liters he was getting done. Like, I was most concerned about the drain, to be honest with you guys. Everything else, you know, I also wanted to make sure they were going to send a home health aide, because I wanted to make sure my mom was going to get help. So I wanted to ask about that. There was a couple things mostly that I just wanted to make sure, like, was going to happen to assist them, you know. So she shows up. It's like 8:30 that she comes. And so, like, she's asking some questions, and he was in a lot of pain. He said that he wasn't getting any pain meds in the hospital because they told him his blood sugar was too high. I've never heard of anything so crazy. I mean, the guy has pancreatic cancer, and it's extremely painful, and I was just so confused. And so, you know, I told my mom, like, I was like, where's, you know, you could tell he was in pain. And I never heard of that before, but I was just like, I don't know. So I said to my mom, where's his pain, you know, where's his pain meds? So we pull his pain meds out and we show her what he has. And she's like, and so she's writing everything down, you know. And I say to him, he keeps grimacing and grabbing his stomach. So I'm like, are you in a lot of pain? Like, should he take one now? And she's like, yeah, yeah, he said he was like 6 out of 10. So she's like, go ahead and take one. It was just a Percocet, right? So she told him to take one. And I was like, he also has Dilaudid. And the doctor, you know, I said, he says it doesn't really help much, but, you know, the doctor told him to take, you know, alternate with the Dilaudid, because he was trying to alternate with ibuprofen, and, you know, he's on a blood thinner, and she did not want him doing that. And she's like, she says, so she told him he could take 2 Percocet, or he could take a Dilaudid with it, like, you know, but he just took a Dilaudid. And so she writes all the pain meds down. And then she sends to the pharmacy for his morphine. So, you know, whenever you're on a hospice, they always order you morphine. And then she says she's going to send for Ativan too. And she did. She said that. But now, mind you, it's like 9 o'clock at night. I've had 4 hours of sleep, and I worked the whole weekend. So I was like kind of not all there. Let's just put it that way. So she says, I have to send it to this pharmacy in such and such a town because it's the only one that's open 24/7. And my mom's like, you don't need to pick it up tonight, Kim. You know, we can pick it up in the morning. And I could tell that the hospice nurse was a little annoyed, because the only reason why they sent her out that night is apparently, I guess, the hospital, or I guess like the social worker, or like whoever was organizing the whole thing, the case manager at the hospital, asked my mom how's his pain, and she said he's in pain, but he was afraid to take anything for it. So she's like, well, I'll have the hospice nurse come out tonight. So the hospice nurse looks at my mom, and she's like, we need the meds in the home. And my mom's like, oh, we can't pick it up tomorrow. And she's like, no, they really want the meds in the home. And I know what she was saying. And then she said, if I had known he had, she literally said this, if I had known he had pain meds here, I could have came out tomorrow. So she was basically saying, like, listen, I drove out here at night to make sure he had pain meds, and now you don't even want to pick it up till tomorrow? Like, I could have come out tomorrow. My mom wasn't like really picking up on that. So I was like, Mom, it's fine. I can pick him up. It's not a big deal. I'm fine. You know, it's not far. And it really wasn't. Like, it wasn't far. Like, you know, Bob was with the dog. Like, I was like, it's fine. In fact, at first I thought I was going to go home and take the dog with me. But then I realized that no, like Dunkin' Donuts was closed. Like, I was going to get her a pup cup, get myself a coffee or whatever. And I realized that no, they were actually closed, because ever since COVID, nothing stays open late. You know, we used to have like 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. Anyway, point being, so after everything was said and done, you know, she leaves. I actually ate because I was starving still, and my mom had cooked that meat. And so I ate, and then I left, and I said, I'll be back. My mom had to go to bed. That's how it started, because I was like, this is past my mom's bedtime. And she was like, well, if I had known he had pain meds in here, in the home, I wouldn't have come out. And I was like, and my mom's like, I don't know. They asked me if he was in pain, and I said yes. And I said, she doesn't understand. I said to the nurse, like cut her a break. Like this, she doesn't, like, she didn't know. They asked her if he was in pain, and he was in pain. Like, they didn't ask her if there was pain meds in the home or anything. Like, leave her alone. Anyway, now I see sound waves, so that's technology, and I think that was under here. No, people, no. Oh, it's on top. So here they are. I'm like moving it aside. So, okay, so I drive, now it's like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm driving to this like pharmacy. She tells me to go inside and get him Senna. I was like, I try to tell her he's been having issues with diarrhea. And she's like, she's like, get him Senna. One Senna is not going to hurt him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm not doing that. I said, well, wouldn't Coleus be better? Because it's not as like, and she's like, no, get him Senna. And I'm just like, I'm not listening to you. I'm not going to get him Senna because this has been a problem for him. And I'm not going to like exacerbate that by giving him a freaking laxative. So I was just like, okay. So I drove there and I didn't go inside. I just went through the window because I was like, I'm not picking up the Senna. So, you know, I say his name and she tells me it's going to be free. And if they charge me to bring the receipt and that they'll reimburse us, fine. So I drive there. It's not free. So I hand him my card. He hands me the bag. I take the bag. I put it on my front seat on the passenger side. That's my storage space in my car. Like everything goes on my front seat. And it was trashed, guys, because the whole back seat is like this cardboard covered. I got it like I got it off of Amazon. It's like this huge like dog thing to make it so that she can walk on the back seat. You know, it covers where the legs go. And I got this like rug that goes over it for dogs and everything. So she gets the whole back seat. I don't put anything back there because I don't want her to chew on anything. So in my front seat on the floor were shopping bags, like a ton of shopping bags. And then if you're not aware, in New Jersey, they are no longer allowed to give you any kind of plastic bags when you go shopping. You literally have to bring your own shopping bags everywhere. So everybody in all of New Jersey could probably give every household in America 5 shopping bags and still have plenty to go shopping themselves. And so we have hundreds of shopping bags. And so they build up in the kitchen and then we just throw them in our car. And so I had like my whole, where my passenger would put their legs, had all these shopping bags. And then in my seat, I had my gym bag, my work bag, 2 winter coats because some days it's hot and I like have my winter coat on expecting it to be freezing, and I go out and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so hot. And I take my winter coat off like I'm taking her to the dog park or something, and I throw it in the front seat. So I had 2 winter coats in my front seat, along with all this other stuff, right? So he gives me the drugs. I put them on top of like the winter coats, on top of my bags, on top of and I give him my card. I don't even look at them. Okay. It's freaking late. I'm exhausted. I just take them. I give him my card. He charged me the $15.99. I take my card back. I put it in my wallet. I drive back to his house. My mom said, I'm going to leave the door unlocked. I'm going to bed. I said, I don't need you for this. I go in Now there's these tiny baby little syringes, like so small you can feed a baby bird with them, right? And they got these little tiny numbers. Like, I'm just like, who the hell made these for these old people? Like, are you serious right now? So the morphine was, so I bring the meds in. The morphine was like 0.25 was the dose. Okay, this is how tired I was, guys. All right, so I draw up 0.25. They gave me 2 syringes. In both syringes, I give them one, right? And I remembered her instructions. In the first hour, you can take a second dose. So I give him one, he takes it. And the one he just took, I drew it up. So I left him with 2 filled syringes. I put them in a glass. And I say to him, in an hour, you can take one if you're still having pain. After that, you can take the other one in 3 hours or later, like whenever you feel pain. And he said, okay. I said, okay, you good? You good? Whatever. Here's your phone. Call me if you need anything. And I go home. There was nothing else in the bag. It was just the morphine and these 2 syringes. And I couldn't even remember the name of the drug that she said she ordered. Like, I was like, I thought she said 2. And guys, remember, I've been complaining about my memory, right? So I was like, I was so tired. I was like, I guess maybe it wasn't ready, because she said it could take up to an hour. And I ate and left. I didn't wait. And when I got there, I was like, watch him tell me it's not ready. And I got to sit in this parking lot, like whatever. It was ready. So I was like, maybe the one wasn't ready. I don't know. I didn't ask him. He didn't say. And I thought it would be funny if he didn't say, well, we only have one ready. Like, why wouldn't he say that? And then I just forgot about it. To be quite honest with you, I just went to sleep. I came home. I went to bed. And so the next day, the nurse comes out to open his case, like to really open his case. Oh, no, she didn't come out the next day. The next day, when I got home, guys, I could not picture 0.25 on that morphine bottle. I just kept seeing 0.15. Don't ask me. I sat there for like almost 2 hours thinking I overdosed my stepdad. And I just sat there and I was like, because I could see the 0.25 on the syringe, but on the bottle, for some reason, when I thought about the label, all I could see was 0.15. And I'm like, no, I didn't mess it up. Did I mess this up? I said, no. I looked at the syringe. I looked at the bottle. I looked at the syringe. I looked at the bottle. I said, I couldn't mess this up. But I could not picture 0.25 on that bottle. So the next morning, I run over there. And then I was like, well, I don't think it's too much for him, because she did say at one point he could double the dose. I didn't say that to him because I didn't want him to get confused. So I never said that to him, but I remembered her saying, you know, if it's not enough, you could always go to 0.5. So I remember her saying that. So then I was like, it had to have been 2.5 because she said 0.5. Like, guys, I was delirious. So I did. I went over there before. I had MUGI in the car. I was taking her to the dog park, and I stopped by. My mom opened the door, and I said, how's he doing? She said, he's been sleeping. And I'm like, oh my God, did I overdose him? And the first thing I did was pick up the syringe, and he didn't take any more. He only took that 1 dose. The 2 syringes I left there were full in the glass, just like I left them. And I looked at the bottle immediately, and it said 0.25. I was like, okay, so I didn't. But then my next concern was while the nurse was there, his sugar was high, and we made him take insulin. So then I was concerned that his sugar was low because he had slept so long. So I went and I woke him up and I made him check his sugar, and it was perfect. It was like 140 something. And I was like, I'm so sorry I woke you. I just, like, I got nervous because he was not discharged on insulin. They were trying to tell him to take glipizide, and he didn't even have glipizide. And so I called all his pharmacies, and none of his pharmacies ever carried. It was bizarre. So anyway, in the end, he was fine, right? And I did the dosing right. He still had 2 full syringes. I said, okay, perfect. The nurse didn't come that day. I didn't go, then I didn't go back because I said, listen, if you need me to come back and refill these, let me know. If not, then fine. So the nurse came the next day, and I came to be present for that, okay? And again, I came to be present because I wanted to make sure he was going to get a home health aide. Like, that's why I came for the first one. But she said, I'm only here to make sure he gets his morphine so that he's not in pain. So that first nurse was just there to put, she wasn't even his start nurse. Like, she kind of opened his case, but didn't do all the start information, which I understand because I have done home care in the past. Now, hospice is different, but it's the same concept. So the start nurse came out now, and, you know, we're talking blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, we're so far into the visit. And then she says, all right, so that might be why. Did I put that in why? Yes. So she said, you know, we're so far in the visit, and then she said, you know, you picked up morphine and Ativan. And I was like, Ativan? I was like, now mind you, this is 2 days ago, right? So I was like, this is all that was in the bag. So I grabbed the bag, I bring it over to her, you know, I bring the morphine over and the syringes. I said, this was what was in the bag. And I said, and here's the receipt. You know, now I didn't look at any of this stuff that night. And I said, and here's the receipt. They said you would reimburse. They actually did charge me. And I'm looking at the receipt, and it looks like they had charged me for 2 prescriptions. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. I'm handing it to her. I was like, do they charge you for the syringes? Because that's the only prescription that was in there. And so she's looking at it, and she's like, no, that looks like they charged you for a second prescription. Are you sure? And so she's looking in the bag. She rips the pamphlet off. It only has the morphine instructions on it. You know how it has the side effects and all that. And I was like, yeah. I said, that's all that was in there. And I said, you know, I did think she said that she called something else in, but I was so tired, I couldn't really remember. So she's like, well, let me see. Maybe she didn't actually call that in. So she looks in the computer. She's like, no, she called it in. So it should either be here or you need to call CVS. And I was like, okay. So I get out my phone and I start to dial the number, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, could it be in my front seat? I'm thinking to myself, my front seat is such a mess. Like, could it actually be in my front seat? And I like, because if he did put it in a separate bag, he would have stapled the Ativan pamphlet to that bag. And that would be why it's not on this bag. I'm like mid-dial, and I'm sitting there thinking this. And I was like, hold on, let me just go check my car. Now, all this looks suspicious to them, right? Because it's almost like I didn't want to call the pharmacy. But that's not why. I just was like, you know, before I accuse this guy of stealing my stepdad's meds, let me make sure it's not somehow my fault, you know? So I go out to my car. Guys, I don't even know how I didn't see this, how I didn't lose them, because I got to the window and I could see them sitting right on top of my work bag, this CVS bag. I was just like, what? I was like, oh my God. So I've gone to the dog park. I put her leash on top of, like, because I unattach her and I put her on their seatbelt, and I put the leash on my front seat. And then, you know, I'm in and out of my front seat, grabbing the leash, like, how in the world I didn't lose these meds in a parking lot or something, how I didn't see them. I went to the supermarket. I grabbed one of those bags that were on the floor of the front seat. And then I put the groceries on top of everything. And then I took the grocery bag out. Like, there were so many opportunities for me to lose this med. I was just like beside myself. So I grabbed the bag. I walk it in. I'm like, oh my God, it was on my front seat. They didn't believe me. I mean, they believed that I had it, but I could tell. And, you know, being a nurse and having to deal with drug seekers, you know, I totally could understand why. You know, obviously the bag was completely intact, stapled, nothing was missing. I didn't even know I had it. But I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, these people think I'm like trying to steal his meds. And like, there's no way to like fix this. Like, they're always going to think in the back of their mind that I was trying to do something shady. You know, I was telling my friend who's also a nurse, and she's like, I think you're overthinking it, Kim. And she's like, they could see that you didn't take anything. I was like, I understand that, but they're thinking that I was trying to get away with something. Like, clearly. Like, and I said to her, I could be overthinking it. I said, but if you were the nurse, what would you think? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I know. Oh my God. They think I'm like trying to steal my stepdad's drugs. Oh my God. So I think, I mean, obviously I think they can tell now that I'm not taking my stepdad's drugs, but still, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm just like, so I come home, right? My daughter comes home and I tell her this story, and she looked at me and she's like, thanks for making me feel better, Mom. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I did something stupid today too, but yours is so much worse. I'm like, thanks. So she tells me that, I'm sorry, Kaylee, if you're listening to this in the future and you're embarrassed, but she tells me about how she's in class and this girl's like looking what she thought was at her, and she's like, your hair looks so nice. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then she realized she was talking to the girl behind her, and she like got so flustered, and the girl's like, well, your hair looks nice too. And she's just thinking, okay, you don't have to say that because I just embarrassed the crap out of myself. And she's like, oh no, usually it's up. You did it down today. And she's like, it just kept getting worse, Mom. And I'm just like, can I crawl into a hole now? And I looked at her and I was like, you're right. Mine is a lot worse. Because your hair does look nice. Oh my God. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Anyway, all right, so that is, I think, a house symbol. So I think my house is here, right? These are my houses. Yeah, house, house, house. Okay, so what do you guys think? You guys think that all that prep, I mean, I feel like given the fact that I am not very familiar with these boxes yet, and I'm not really like searching for these symbols, they're just kind of like popping out at me, really, because I know exactly which, not exactly, but I know I have an idea of what box to look in. Because the thing is like, if I know where the symbol is, then I just need to find a symbol in that category to know what box, that I'm in the right box. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, that's a square. I need my squares box. And then once you're at that box, it's like, you're going to find it. So that's the nice thing about categories. If you are interested. All right. Oops. I also wanted to say, like earlier I was saying how the bugs are bad. Well, I take MUGI on these like trail runs with one of my neighbors and his dog. And I think I talked about this and how this one has a foot, so I need my A back. This is also why I love to use these, because then I just get to, actually forgot one up there too. This is how I pot dive. Term coined by Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. That one's naughty. It's got a foot. And so I took her on, like, we took their dog, the dogs, his dog and my dog. We took them on this like 5-mile trail, and he calls me when I'm on my way home, and he's like, just make sure you check yourself. I've already found 3 ticks on me. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I go home and I check everything. I don't find anything on me, thank God, because like I think I would have cried. And then I bathed Mugi, and I really checked her really well. And in the bath I didn't find anything, but then later she's laying there and I'm like petting her and stuff. I found one, a small one, and it was dead. Like when we pulled it off, it was dead. And that's what the medicine's supposed to do. It's like, it's supposed to, like, they'll still latch on, but once they start trying to drink the blood, they die from the medicine. So it was dead. I only found one on her, but then the next day I take her to the dog park. All right, what number? Okay, so all right, I need lines. Well, I need crosses. I need this cross. And the next day, after I get back from the dog park, I was getting ready to go in the shower, and I found one crawling on my leg, and I was just like, what? So I don't know if it was in the bathroom from when I bathed her, but like, if it was just like randomly on my body, like why wasn't it like drinking my blood? Or it was just weird. I don't know. So that freaked me out now. And then for like 2 days, every little thing on my body, like I thought was a tick. And I was like constantly checking myself and just feeling gross, right? And he tells my husband that, so my girlfriend wanted to go on a trail walk with the dogs, and I was like, I don't want to do that for 2 reasons. One, I already found a tick on me, and I've already pulled a tick off MUGI. I just don't feel like feeling gross right now. And 2, like I would have to keep her on a leash when she goes out with your dog, because like we can't trust her dog. Her dog has hound in her, and like I said, the guy that I go on these trail walks with, they go off leash because she follows his dog, and his dog has phenomenal recall. So but like when I've tried to trail walk with my friend, she puts it's called a gentle lead, which is kind of like, it looks like a muzzle, but it's not, but it prevents her dog from pulling. But my dog just pulls, like it's, and my arms are killing me, like my shoulders are killing me. So I was like, I don't feel like wrestling MUGI for like 5 miles. Like I just don't feel like doing that. So and I, oh, this is a pixie dust. This is the black pixie dust. It's not black, but it's like dark. I don't know, it might be. I don't have the DMC on my containers, or I tell you, but it's gorgeous. And this does have a gold shimmer, I think. It's really popping on this. So yeah, I was like, no, I just don't feel like wrestling her and like having back pain and shoulder pain and stuff. And I don't feel like being worried about ticks for like another 3 days. Like I mentally can't do that right now. And so Bob called the guy that we go on these trail walks with, and he's like, you want to take the dogs on a walk? And he's like, I don't want to go on the forest though. I can't do another tick. And then he's like, I found 8 of them on me. 8, guys. He found 8 ticks on him. I was like, oh, No. So gross. Ugh, I can't. He's like, yeah, I can't. I don't want to go. So I was like, that's exactly what I said. I cannot do more woods right now. Like, so it's another reason why I said I think that the bugs are going to be so bad. And then, like, I was just out by the pool where we take her to walk, and like the gnats were insane. Like, I had to get her Frisbee out of her bag and just like fan myself to keep the gnats away. It was disgusting. I was like, this is crazy. I can't. I need to move to like Maine or something. Do they have bugs in Maine? I just can't. I can't stand bugs. Guys, I'm gonna stop talking here and finish this, because yeah, but what do you think about my system? It's pretty quick, right? I need to get another cup of coffee. I want to finish this, and wait, let me go grab the list and tell you what I'm giving away this week. Hold on. Okay, guys. So I'm going to be giving away a Black Dahlia Diamond Art gift card for $10. She is on Etsy. A Chris's Crafty Corner, also on Etsy for $10. A DP with Sparklers gift card for $15. And a pack of Joy's Putty, a 4-pack. Okay. So, if you please, what could be the theme of our whip and chat here? How about organize? Let's go ahead and use the word organize. What did you think about how I organized my drills? So, organized with a D. Okay, organized. And yeah, that'll be the keyword. Now remember, to win this prize, you have to have a Google Sheet Docs form filled out, okay? And you have to have a start photo posted in the start tab. So I will link our Facebook group. I will link our Google Docs sheet, okay? And I will link all of the prize websites and Etsy and links and all that, okay? And again, organized, okay? Do you think that my way was very organized? Let me know in the comments. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a little time lapse to finish this up, and I'll show you the square in the end. All right, guys.
I used to think I'm the problem, that I was way too sensitive, reacting way too much, until I realized we were different types, carrying a different triggers, scaring us to death. Oh, someday we will collide someplace where we can hide our space. Forget the world outside just for a while. Some way we will be fine. Safe place, just you and I, always. I will wait for us to collide. I'll wait. Till I realized that I had needs you didn't meet. But that's all days. Now that we see each other, can we slow down, start over? Come closer. Forget the world outside, just for a while, some way. We will be fine, safe place, just you and I, always. I will wait for us to collide. It's perfect, but we are perfect together. Oh, together. No one's perfect, but we are perfect together. Oh, together.
All right, guys, all done this square. I'm gonna go ahead and some more center it. So that we can zoom in. Wow, look at that. That is so gorgeous. Wow. And look, you can see there's hardly any gapping. Look at this beautiful purple. And you see the blue one. Yeah. Really, really enjoyed these squares, guys. And I just love that shimmer. Oh, hello, MUGI hair. On those purples. So much fun. I have on my timer 77 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and clock it all on my on the recording and see where I'm at. But I love it. I mean, really look at the difference in color from what's here. So amazing. So glad I did this square with you guys first. All right, guys, so remember the keyword is organized, and it's a lot of prizes. We got a lot of prizes. Debbie was amazing. So, yeah, go ahead and comment that. This is week 1's prize. And we haven't decided the drawings. I guess it's going to be on my next Whip and Chat, and then we'll give another prize, and we'll just go like that, okay? So you have until, I'll say Saturday, okay? Saturday, April, what is that? 11th or something like that, okay, guys? And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out. Do you want to see more from me? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family and friends here at Kim's Crafts. I would love to have you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Keep diamond painting.